Computerized Start is brought to you by my awesome patrons on Patreon, and by your tips and memberships on Ko-fi. These and other channel supporters make my live streams possible. You too can become a channel supporter with tiers starting at just $1. And as always, thank you for all your support, including sharing, chatting, liking, and subscribing. Now roll that famous logo animation! Good evening and welcome back to Computerized Start Live. I'm your host, Justin D. Morgan, and the dinosaur is still out to get me. And yes, I remembered to turn it on tonight. So, yes, I didn't get to the post office today, so we are going to the backup stream idea that I had on Tuesday, which is why the stream that was scheduled for tonight got moved to next week, and I created a new one in its place because YouTube doesn't really like it when you try to create a duplicate stream, and I didn't want to have to recreate the old stream from scratch. So, yeah, I wish YouTube would make it easier to, like, move stream, but edit as new stream with the link that it had. But whatever, that's probably a niche case. Maybe I'm weird. Maybe I think things should work differently than they do. But one thing that is common amongst many YouTube channels is the chat. So let's see who we have in the chat. We have the Thomas Armstrong. Hi, Thomas. Thomas commenting the saw was found, and yes, it was found at the hardware store. We have I83D6SX. Hi, Jesse. Jesse was commenting that I found it at Ace Hardware, and no, actually it was at Do It Best. Ace Hardware is kind of far away. Randy's Hardware is at Do It Best, and he's right beside Food Lion. Very convenient. Also, apparently, Randy is retiring, so congratulations to Randy of Randy's Hardware on your retirement. And we have Gutbomb. Hi, Jason. Gutbomb says, yo! Yes! And of course, what would one of my streams be without the following segment? We're just going to get right to things tonight, because hacksaws.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for our favorite segment, Wheel of Regrets. Here's your host, Justin D. Morgan.
Hey, who comes up with these titles anyway?
All right. And the first potential regret on the table, I have already pulled the hacking list out of it, which might already have given away what seller it came from, because I think I had a package that was very, very strangely packaged, very similarly to this one, including a invoice on the back of the package. Well, what could this one be? Well, there's only one way to find out. See if it's the item I ordered, or if it's Cocoa Krispies from the grocery store. Or did I order Cocoa Krispies from eBay? Now that would probably be a regret. And inside we have... I'm sure that comes as a shock. But I have, like... I think it should be 30... floppy drive cables. Because of, well, floppy drives. And yes, these came from the same seller that I bought the, like, 20 IDE cables from. But anyways, yes, we should have, like, 30 floppy drive cables. So these should be ribbon cables for 3 drives, complete with vintage rubber bands that are of no account. Jesse's asking, why would you need a cable for the save icon? Yeah, I don't know. I'm crazy. Oh, these have the cool locking tabs for the motherboard side, which probably will break those out if the motherboard is not compatible with those. But anyways, yes. So yeah, just some floppy drive ribbon cables so that as I rebuild vintage computers, I have floppy drive cables. And the cool thing is, I believe about these, as well as the hard drive cables that I bought, there's no weird key pins in them. Because I've got a number of cables that have weird key pins in them, or key pins that aren't common amongst product lines. Thomas Armstrong says, is this more wheels? Oh, no. Floppy drive cables. Like 30 of them. Anyways, I may, I don't know. I may bring some of my spares to VCF East, and, I don't know that I needed 30, but, well, the seller was selling them as a lot, so I was the one and only bidder on them. Thomas Armstrong says, now you have 2 saws. Yes, I probably do have 2 saws once I find the other hacksaw. All right, and the next item up for regrets is this item. Let's see here. Oh, yeah, I forgot to say hi to people in, I think it's Florida. Yep, Florida. Hi to all my eBay sellers and viewers in Florida. That's where those floppy drive cables came from. Oh, hi, Christian Iverson. Welcome. This sweet mother of all PATA cables. Yeah. Except those were floppy drive cables. All right, so this next package comes from an eBay seller in Washington State. So hi to all my eBay sellers and viewers in Washington State. So this item, it is nice that this came today, but unfortunately, as I will go ahead and preface, because Francois is not in the chat to guess Trident cards, this was actually for the motherboard that I didn't get to the post office to pick up today, so we'll have to try this out next week. And inside we have a did they vacuum seal this expansion card? It's in a vacuum seal. I don't think they actually vacuum sealed the card. Because I was also, fortunately, oh, they used tape to seal it. Okay. Gupop says, if that's a VIC-20. Well, no. Nope, this isn't the VIC-20s. But I had bought that Asus Pentium Pro motherboard, which, since I put a picture of it on the thumbnail for the stream I was going to do tonight, there's no denying the fact I have a Asus Pentium Pro motherboard on the way that's waiting for my signature at the post office. But I noticed in its manual that the BIOS for that motherboard supports this PCI card. So this is the Asus PCI SC200, and apparently that motherboard BIOS is where the boot ROM for this SCSI card is. So naturally, I had to find one on eBay, the place where I buy the things I later regret, to put that claim to the test. Because blue SCSI. No, Gut Bomb, it really is not a great secret because I put a picture of it on the thumbnail. I would be, yeah, that's a really bad way to keep a secret. But anyways. Oh, Gutpop was asking about the other thing I said, which I'm not going to repeat because the answer to Gutbomb is maybe. And now Gutbomb knows what I've done because I sent him a picture of it asking him a question about it. There was a reason why I asked you the question, Gutbomb. Why I bought it, well, you'll just have to wait and see. Gutbomb says, well, I certainly will be tuning in. Yeah, because he knows I wanted to double check about one of the 3 items in that eBay lot before I bought it because I had need for something specifically in it. Although I will say, Gutbomb, I bought actually 2 auctions from that seller. The second auction I bought actually shipped and is at the mail processing facility. It'll probably be delivered tomorrow or maybe Saturday. However, that first auction containing those 3 items, the seller printed the label for them, but he has not shipped them yet. So I'm kind of a bit disappointed there. But well, let's just say that the other item I bought from the seller, and I kind of sort of felt bad for buying the item, but I'm not going to, because we'll just say that I bought something that I have one. I've been trying to get it to work. It does have some cosmetic blemishes, which I was having trouble finding the replacement parts to repair. Thomas Armstrong says a box of Trident cards. Nope. No, I have actually not bought any Trident cards in the past week or 2, surprisingly. Anyways, so I bought this item because the seller had a couple of them, and this one was priced at half of what the other ones were going for, because the seller tested it, and it failed their testing. However, I quickly noticed something about the auction listing and bought it now. Yeah, let's just say that if you're testing things for eBay and there are switches that you can, like locking switches that you press and they lock in place, and you depress and they go back to their default state, and you're having trouble testing the item and it doesn't seem to work, and you've got one of those switches pressed in, it might behoove you to turn the thing off, press the switch that's locked in, and try again. That's all I'm going to say on the matter. Because I have a feeling, okay, do I think the system is trouble-free? There's a good chance it's not trouble-free. Do I think is there a chance someone's been in it and taken chips because it tested not working? Yeah, of course. But yeah, I didn't think twice when I looked at the photo and looked at the buttons, and kind of thought that I knew what the problem was. So, and since the seller shipped that one, I'm okay with at least partially mentioning that. Anyways, yes, so that's the word of the wise. And I'm putting that in Wheel of Regrets because that could be this seller's potential regret for not pressing the button that was pressed in that's a locking switch. Yeah. 'Cause I think that's why they tested it and it didn't work. Nothing on the screen. Gutbomb says, well, I deleted the message to prevent spoilers. All right. Thank you, Gutbomb. Thank you. All right. So if you're watching this on replay, well, less spoilers for you. All right. So now that I've given you the word to the wise for eBay testing, that's also an eBay buying tip: to study photographs carefully. And if you want to double check something before you spend large sums of money on it, ask a friend just to double check that you're not seeing something wrong. So thanks, Jason, for peer reviewing the photo to make sure I was identifying it correctly, because yes, there is a reason why I wanted that specific auction. You probably know what it is, and it probably wouldn't take you too long to guess what I'm trying to do. Live stream to come later if the seller ever ships them. All right, so now that we've gone through Wheel of Regrets, that is... Gut Bomb does know, yes. Yes. It'll be between you and me, Gut Bomb. For the next little while until the package comes in. I shouldn't count my eggs before they hatch. Count my chickens before they hatch. I might want to count my eggs if I'm trying to sell them for a profit, though. Ugh. All right. Yeah, that's all the regrets that have arrived because I didn't get to the post office, so... Capcom says, I've had issues with my post office not scanning in some packages I sent. Well, actually, interestingly enough, the one auction that they shipped is coming postal service. The one that they haven't shipped yet is coming UPS. So Capcom says, so it may still be on the way. Yeah, it could be on the way, but I don't remember what day that was when I asked you about it. I thought that might have been Monday. And if they shipped it at the same time or the same day, I kind of would have expected UPS would have eventually scanned the box by now. But maybe not. No, I ordered it January 31st, which would have been would that have been Sunday? No. Saturday. No. I don't remember what the days are. Today's the 6th. Tomorrow, I guess it would have been Friday. All right. You know, if I named all the days of the week, I would eventually guessed it. Anyways, we'll see if they actually ship it. They haven't. It hasn't been scanned by UPS yet. I might message them about it. Not tonight. I may do it in the morning. I'm not going to stop the stream just to message them, but maybe I might remind them to just ask to kind of say, hey, I noticed UPS hadn't scanned the package yet. Did you ship it? Yeah, I'll do that in the morning. Anyways, it would at least be a good reminder to them that I did notice. I think in that same message, I may thank them for shipping the other item that I see that it's already... Actually, that might be the way I do it. I'll let them know. I noticed the one item has been scanned and's on the way, but the other one hasn't. I haven't seen it scanned yet, so just ask them when they dropped it off or something. So, anyways, let's see here. Oh yeah, I guess without further ado, I guess there is the one other thing. It's not normally a segment, but I guess we could do the segment of what did Justin buy at the grocery or at the hardware store. Oh, and hi Jeremy. I think you might have dropped in, and I was trying to finish a thought. So hi Jeremy, welcome. Didn't mean to possibly ignore you in the chat that long, but anyways, also the can of WD-40 reminded me that you had popped in the chat. So yes, I picked up a can of WD-40. Despite the fact that I think this stuff is overrated, I figured, well, sometimes you do need WD-40, and even though the can says that it lubricates, and I'm really not sure it's the greatest of lubricants in the world, well, it supposedly will revive an image writer cartridge, so, well, there's that. Maybe it might earn some bonus points if it'll actually do that. But anyways, yes. That's the cheapest can of WD-40 they had. I kind of wanted one of the little dropper bottles, but whatever. Okay, so I got WD-40. Although I did maybe misspeak during the last stream when I said I did not have any WD-40. Because actually, I've had a can of WD-40. It's WD-40 Specialist Contact Cleaner. So, now I have the stuff that when people ask, do you have WD-40, that's what they're usually talking about. So, I'll have you know, I have nothing against the WD-40 company. In fact, this contact cleaner is actually pretty good. It's better than the red can of stuff. At least not as bad for you as the red can stuff. Although I still wouldn't Still probably wouldn't clean my hands with it. And I would want to wash my hands after using it, but at least not quite as bad for you. And, oh, we got the receipt that I should probably set to the side here. And I picked up a mini hacksaw. I'm pretty sure I have a hacksaw somewhere, and it might actually be another one of these mini hacksaws. Beats me where I put it in the house. But anyways, I now have a hacksaw. And I guess I probably could have just ripped the label off, but well, this is one way to make sure that the blade has, that the hacksaw frame has a good purchase on the hacksaw blade. And yes, I've probably been watching a lot of British repair channels, so because we got more fun making it, and Joey's Tech, and there's a lot of them. Anyways, cool word, purchase. So I purchased this, and well, now the blade, the handle has as good as purchase on that blade as it's going to, because that little piece of paper wouldn't be behind it. All right. So why do I have a hacksaw? Well, it is so that I can remove the cap off of this real-time clock module from a Sun workstation. Because I think it was last week I attempted to repair one, and the repair didn't quite go as planned, because as you'll see when I remove the hot glue off of this, I couldn't find my hacksaw, which is why I bought another one. So I tried using a Dremel, and I went too far. So, lesson learned: when the instructions tell you to use a hacksaw, use a hacksaw. And also, now I know exactly how thick the chip is in the package. And actually, I'm thinking I should probably go ahead and remove this module off of this so that I can measure how thick the chip is, so that I know where to cut the chip on the package on the next one. Jesse says, I bought $100 worth of eBay regrets from China the night before USPS pulled that shipping stunt. That was a bad morning. Yeah. Yeah, that was a weird one. I'll tell you that. I'm actually kind of, yeah, after that, I was kind of glad that the motherboard I bought from Japan, even though it was coming from Japan, I think the motherboard might have been made in China back in the mid-90s. I was actually kind of glad that it had already made it to the States before that happened. In fact, actually, I think, yeah, it was in the States. Just, because I was kind of worried that, oh no, I know this was made back in the 90s, but I wasn't expecting to pay tariffs on this board. And I'll just say that I probably paid more on that Pentium Pro board than I would have normally, because it's a Pentium Pro board. I don't know why. Pentium Pros are ridiculously expensive. And actually, I was actually watching a video on YouTube that in fact, it's a type of video I wouldn't normally watch, but I was curious. It was a video where someone was reclaiming gold from Pentium Pro processors. The only reason I was watching it is because I wanted to figure out I wanted to learn how much gold was in them and how much someone would actually recover from them, because I wanted to be an informed, disappointed vintage technology enthusiast when I hear someone say that they're scrapping processors for gold. So, for the good of informing others, I watched this video, which included me cringing as he smashed 7 Pentium Pro processors with a hammer, and I was hoping the whole time that these are dead processors that weren't working anyways, but let's face it, we probably know better. I would say at least one of them probably was working. Then watched him bumble about getting the gold out of the processors, and quite honestly, I was somewhat criticizing his method because, to myself, I'm not going to help him with his gold recovery of Pentium Pro processors. But I was thinking to myself the whole time that, I bet your processor would be a whole lot more efficient if you would actually measure the amounts of chemicals you're putting into the reaction, because concentrations matter when it comes to things like this. But of course, I'm not going to tell him that. And then when the end comes, at some point he does in the video admits that with the 7 processors, he should get 2.1 grams of gold. And when he's done, he recovers 1.7 grams of gold. So then I went online to look up how much 1.7 grams of gold would cost. And I think the internet told me it was worth $90. So now I can tell you I am an informed, disappointed vintage computing enthusiast, because you can sell one of those Pentium Pro processors for $50 on eBay, especially if it's in working condition. And those 7 processors on eBay would have been worth, what, $350, which, if I check my math, is greater than $90. So there. Now you know, and yet people recover gold from them. So yeah. And I don't know where I was going with that, other than, oh yeah, the how valuable that Pentium Pro board is. So yeah, because Pentium Pro stuff is expensive. I probably paid more than I would have normally paid for a motherboard. Well, that, and it was shown working, so that kind of did tip the scale of favorability. So, but yeah, Pentium Pro stuff is kind of ridiculously expensive. And we won't get into if you're trying to get a dual server board or a dual processor board. Oh, hold on. I was trying to remove the battery, and then I forgot that I hadn't removed the battery yet. And now I'm going to try to remove the battery again before I start applying lots of heat to this board. There we go. All right, so this battery... Oh, so if you were watching Dave's stream, I did take a look at this board during Dave's stream briefly. I don't know why my chat is so quiet. Hopefully I didn't, like... Oh! Apparently my chat might be quiet because the chat view in OBS stopped working. No wonder. Jesse says, depends on how incompetent that post office is. Yeah, actually, I think my post office is fairly competent, so I'm not too worried about it. Let's see. Thomas Armstrong says our postal work is smart. Filled a yellow card about our sidewalk not being clean of snow. We sent it to city bylaws to verify. We do not have a sidewalk. Yes, Jeremy says, oh, I'm still mulling over RAM options for that 46 SLC board. Well, no worries, Jeremy. I'm not in a huge rush for that, because at some point, I have at least one board I'm going to try to repair. Maybe put in that lunchbox computer. Since I don't have any of those SARC 2016 chipsets. And after you reviewed the live stream where I tried to work on that one I sent to you, and you confirmed that it appeared to be a quite dead board even after I finished with it, I'm concerned that that chipset is probably of no account. And I would have to order them from China, and, well, that order will now cost more. So I'm kind of not prioritizing that particular project when I've got a couple boards I can try to repair. So no rush on it. We'll get to that eventually. Oh, yeah, Thomas Armstrong says WD-40 is a good cleaner. Jeremy says that clamping method sucks. Yeah, never said it was a good hacksaw. Mega says, I saw that too. Yeah. Oh, hi, Mega. Jesse says, processors rarely fail. Yeah, I would agree with that, Jesse. I think of all the processors I have one processor in my suspect chip bag that is truly dead. Oh, no, I think I have... Oh, no, I misspoke. But I would agree with you, Jesse, because I have 3 in here. Well, 4 if... Oh, no. Wait. I've got more in here than I thought I did. I think I've got a 6502 processor down in here somewhere. Which I'm kind of not surprised it failed. But I do actually have 2 Pentium processors that I don't know where I got them from. But they are very, very much so dead. I don't remember where I got these, though. So... And then I do have... Oh, no. That's actually a math coprocessor that I probably accidentally killed it by installing it backwards one too many times. But yeah, and I do have a 386 processor that is also very much dead. Again, I don't know what happened to it, but I think the computer that this was in, I think the power supply overvolted everything because the whole computer went from working to absolutely nothing works at all in like a very short amount of time. So I think the computer this was in fried it along with everything else in the computer. This one I installed one too many times, but that's actually a math coprocessor. These 2 came on boards that I have no idea what the systems went through before I got them. And I pretty much tried multiple times to get them to work. But yeah, overall, processors rarely fail. I have so many processors that I would agree with that I don't know what they've been through, but they just still work. So yeah, I would agree. They usually just work, and the percentage of processors I've come across that have failed is still pretty low. Not counting the ones that Moss produced and was putting too much bore on it. Although I think that 6502 I had that failed was actually like a, it wasn't a Moss, it was like a Signetics or something. Yeah, Jesse says, Thomas says the Moss 6502 failed by rust. Actually, it wouldn't surprise me if the 6502 I had, it was the one that was in my Franklin Ace 1000. It wouldn't surprise me if maybe that one rusted too. Oh, I need more isopropyl. Jesse says, I had 3 fail in 20 years, one 486 Magic Smoke, a Pentium dual-core E5200, and some Celeron. I think the Celeron was a power supply fail. Yeah, I think that 386 was a power supply fail. Uh, interestingly enough, I think the power supply basically fried everything in the computer. Because, like, the entire thing was dead, but I don't remember the smoke coming out. But that's not to say that the overvoltage wasn't, I mean, the overvoltage could have still been, like, 8 or 9 volts, because that would probably be enough to logically fry chips, but not necessarily enough to be, pull enough current through traces for smoke to come out of somewhere. Or maybe smoke did come out of somewhere, but it fried things, and then whatever popped was not a big enough item to have made enough smoke for it to be readily apparent. Or when it happened, I didn't think I'd left it plugged in, but maybe it smoked while I wasn't down here or something. I don't know. Jesse says actually fried a Xeon once. Well, he actually typed, I fired a Xeon once, which also sounds exciting, but I'm pretty sure. There's his correction, fried. I mean, firing a Xeon what sounds pretty cool, but yeah, fried, that makes more sense. Christian's asking, didn't MOS parts have excessive sodium contents in their silicon wafers? Actually, it was boron, not sodium, from what I've heard. Actually, there were some ex-MOS engineers that did a white paper on it. Someday I'm going to go find that white paper. But from what I remember, it was boron. But yes, it was apparently, I guess, a problem that became known at some point. And at some point, those MOS engineers wrote a white paper on it, I guess, to document it so that others didn't make the same mistake. Do remember them having some problem that caused authorities to step up, but can't remember what. Okay. The problem that probably had authorities step up was they had some chemical waste pit that I think was leaching into the ground. So I think the authorities stepped in because of that problem, because I believe the former MOS semiconductor facility in Pennsylvania was an EPA Superfund site due to said chemical waste. And I want to say that because I think MOS had already gone bankrupt at that point or something, that the former owner ended up having to pay for it. So, or something. Anyways, but I think it was because the chemical waste pit, the EPA had to step in. I don't know that anyone stepped in because of the failing chips. Thomas says MOS has a lot of issues. Thomas says firing a tantalum was more fun. Yeah, probably. All right, let's see if I can get this board off of this chip now. Because I put hot glue under it, thinking that I was not going to have to remove it. And all right. I think I've got it desoldered, but I think it's still holding on by glue, so the only reason I'm trying to get this off is... Oh, there we go. Oh, I think I still have... Alright, so I still had one of the pins soldered in, but I got the board off. Alright, I'll have to clean the pins off, but I'll let the isopropyl dry on it. Basically, what I wanted to do was I wanted to be able to measure the thickness of the chip, so I knew where to cut with the hacksaw. Christian says, so a mixed bag of all sorts of problems. Yeah, that's probably a good way of saying it. But anyways, so that's what I did to the first chip. I cut in with the Dremel too far, and I did manage to expose part of the lead frame, which probably means that I probably quite possibly flexed this enough that I broke the bond wire off. Bond wires off of the lead frame. Possibly cut them. But anyways, yeah, I went in a bit too far with the Dremel. So I don't want to make that same mistake again. Not that I don't have spare chips, because I did find some of these chips on eBay. The batteries are dead in them, but the modules appear to work. I'm trying to find my calipers. They like to hide. Oh, did I might have actually taken them upstairs to measure something. All right, well, we'll eyeball it. I may regret that later because I don't know where my calipers went. Yeah, they're not where I usually set them. All right. Anyways, so that's attempt number 1. So I do have the original module that was in the other Sun, which I don't have enough parts to make it functional at the moment. So, but its module's dead too, so I would have to rebuild it to use it. So we've got this one, but then I bought 2 modules on eBay that are the same part. I think they're used. The batteries are actually dead, but I got these at a fairly reasonable price. So I've got 3 that ideally I would like to get 2 working, but we're only going to get 1 working tonight because I only have this 1 repair board. I'll have to order another repair board to fix the other Sun, but because I don't have enough parts to actually make it working, I'm not too worried about it at the moment. Because in fact, I was actually kind of tempted to put that Sun on the free pile at VCF East to pass it along and let someone else have fun with the Sun. Which, I mean, it wouldn't be too hard for them to get it up and running. The biggest thing is it needs RAM and a hard drive. And I guess a CD-ROM drive, but because I had to use that CD-ROM drive to get mine working, because trying to get these pins out. All right. I'll zoom in. But, alright, so I think I got all of the... Alright. I've successfully removed this module. I got the pins out. So, hopefully, the second attempt will be more successful than the first. But at least I have 3 modules and not only 1 more module. Alright, so what I'm going to do is, like the last one, I got to remove it from the carrier frame. Should be able to pop it out by kind of sticking the chip lifter in. Alright, so this is pin 1. Because I'm going to be cutting the top off, I am going to put a yellow mark there as well. But I'm also going to put it in this socket like so. This is to protect the pins on the module, but I aligned it with pin 1. So now when I cut, so basically what I need to do is I need to cut this cap off. And this time we're using the hacksaw and not a the basic effectively a hand grenade. Wait a minute, I think the saying is some other items. Anyways, I probably butchered that saying. So we're going to use the hacksaw and not a Dremel. We're going to cut the cap. So I will score the cap on this side, probably about halfway down. Or I will use this as a guide. Actually, I think I may need to cut the two ends first. Actually, I'm just going to cut about halfway up. Yep, it's a Stanley hacksaw. Not a sponsor. This is where I wish I once again wished I had a vise. And this is now where I distinctly start to think that I might have a vise somewhere, but doubt that I could have forgotten about it for so long. Hmm. Yes, Jeremy, you can caution me against that, but I don't have a I don't have a I don't have a I don't know if I have a vise. I would I I don't have a pair of locking pliers that I remember owning. Besides, that would I don't know where my 28 pin sockets are. I mean, I will okay, okay. You all are winning. I will go upstairs. I will go to the garage. I will see if this vise that I started to wonder if I own is actually an actual thing that I own. And at the very least, I will see if I have a pair of locking pliers. So if you will hold momentarily, I will be back, and maybe I will have something so that you all can stop worrying about my fingers. Oh, I got some good news and some bad news. The good news is I found my coping saw that I was going to. Well, okay, so it's not a hacksaw, but that's the saw that I had been looking for. Well, of course, after buying a hacksaw, I managed to find it. The bad news is I don't have a vise. Because it's not like that could have hid anywhere. Yeah, the missing saw. I, yeah, all right. I don't have a pair of channel locks, Jeremy. I have things that will work in place of channel locks, but they don't lock. Hi, Callan. Welcome. Hi, SadMac356. Welcome. And Mark McFlurries are back, says Thomas Armstrong. Jeremy saying, I only cautioned you because of two reasons. I care about your well being. I've done something like that, got hurt, and regretted it. Well, then we'll stop the repair because, yeah, you're probably right. I shouldn't be doing this without the right tools. I don't have a vise. I don't have a pair of channel locks. And there is no place other than Walmart that I could get one this late, and I'm not going to Walmart this late. Because actually, they might actually close before I get there. Because I don't even know if they're open till midnight these days. Hi, Rudy. Welcome. Let's see here. All right, I guess let's see if I can think of anything else that I could use to hold this chip. I guess I can put channel locks on my wish list. I don't have I don't have all the tools. It's just something I don't have. Channel locks is something I don't have. I got these. I mean, I have some really cool tools that I've been able to use to get. I don't know if I can find one of them to get bolts and stuff off that I guess have gotten me through not having a pair of channel locks, and of course it's gone into hiding because I'm looking for it, like a Craftsman Robo Grip, and those things work pretty well, and things are probably 30 years old and they work great, but they don't lock. So, uh, and at one point I actually did own a vise, and I don't remember what happened to it. I honestly don't remember what I did with it. Or did I own a vise? Maybe I'm now imagining a tool I wanted but never bought. I don't know. I don't have a vise. I don't have a pair of channel locks because the Robo Grips have gotten me this far. This is what happens when I have to change the stream idea practically at the last minute. All right. Okay. So we're going to stop this because you all are right. I should probably have something to hold this when cutting it. So we're going to stop. No, no Dremels. No Dremels. No Dremels. That's how I screwed up last time, was a Dremel. So we are not Dremeling it tonight. No. No. You all are not going to convince me to use a Dremel tonight. Because that's how I screwed it up last time, was a Dremel. It's okay. Said Max says the Dremel broke it worse. Yeah. Yeah, we are not trying that again. I don't want to be bummed because I screwed it up again with a Dremel. I would rather be bummed because someone rightfully pointed out that you shouldn't be holding it that way. Can you please find something to hold it that your fingers aren't in the path of the blade? Because I can't really be bummed at that, because that is actually the right thing to point out. Even if there are some woodworking YouTubers that hate it when you point out where their fingers are in relationship to spinning blades, I appreciate when you remind me that my fingers are probably in a place I don't want them to be, because the last thing I want is to have to explain to my coworkers how I cut my fingers, because that could be embarrassing. I could become an example of a how to be safer the following Monday. So yeah, all right. Rudy, the heat gun won't work because there's actually I don't know that the heat gun will work. Uh, because I don't want to damage it because I overheated it. All right, Jeremy says there may be a way around this. I mean, I could try the heat gun, but because at least the basement's not as cold as it was last week. Hold the saw and I don't think that'll work, Jeremy, because then I'm liable to start cutting it sideways. I need to be able to see what I'm cutting. If you have a spare solder tip, you can usually pull the epoxy filing out with it. That sounds messy. I don't know that I really have what I would consider to be a spare solder tip, but let's see what I got in the toolbox. Let's see here. Nope. Oh, those are kind of useful. Well, I mean, I might totally regret this. Why are you all so intent on making my basement smell like melted plastic and epoxy? All right, hold please while I find the silicon thing to remove the bit from my soldering station. I don't know where it went. Oh, there it is. I don't exactly like hot swapping these bits, but well, that's not hot swapping very well. All right, we're gonna turn this off. I I know, Jeremy. Scotty even said you gotta have the right tool for the job. I don't have the right tools all the time. I don't have a full tool collection. I don't I don't work on my car. Maybe I should. It would save money, but I don't. I usually even for some plumbing things, I don't even do my own plumbing because various reasons, but saving my knees from crawling on the floor to try to get under the sink is usually one of the reasons that I usually don't do my own plumbing. I do my own computer repairs, though. Well, that's weird. All right, I got the. Oh, well, I'm burning something off of this tip. Okay, so now I have a really hot tip here that I don't know what to do with it because I don't have one of those tip holder things. So it's just going to hang out beside me, and we'll try the. We'll try the this approach, which will most certainly ruin this blade and the brass sponge thing in my solder holder, but at least I got more brass sponges. The only problem with this approach is, though, that my soldering station hates this. This may not be a genuine hacko tip. Yes, I have my smoke absorber on, if anyone's wondering. All right. Well, that's not quite what I wanted to do, but Well, oh, I think I see why the pry method works so well on these chips. So I just pulled the plastic top off to reveal what I think is the battery and clock module. Oh, I I think this might work similarly to how their SMD ones work that have a separate module. But instead of this one being a user replaceable separate module, it gets epoxied on at the factory. So actually, I think I'm a little bit too high because I think the resin is down just a little bit lower. So I'm going to try to score this side about here. See if I can get the rest of this plastic top off. Oh, we'll talk to you later, Rudy. All right. Yeah, now that appears to be the battery module. Now I need to find. Unfortunately, I do need to cut, but maybe I just found a way to do it without my fingers being in the way. I need to try to. Oh, actually, here we go. I think this only works because I have a groove to start with. All right, so that should be partway into the epoxy between the chip and the battery crystal pack, I think. Well, it wouldn't have worked the whole way, Jeremy, but well, no, I couldn't have held them with the pliers, Jeremy. There's not enough grip on them. These are not grippy. Although, I guess I need to try. So the chances these will work to at least give me some grip on it. Well, it's not perfect, but nope, that's not going to work. Not grippy enough. Nope, these don't open wide enough to hold the end of the socket. Okay, I am going to say that the using the soldering iron to cut it is probably not recommended. Also, the pins you might be seeing that are bent up are actually the pins of the socket that I put this chip in. Well, all right, looks like I have a slightly more successful separation this time. Almost. Okay, the good news is I didn't cut down too far and expose the lead frame. Hammers would be a good way to break this, so no, we're not going to use a hammer. Well, there's the two pins that I can see the two pins on this side. Unfortunately, I cut too high here, so I don't think that's a genuine Hacko tip. I think that's why my station's complaining. All right, so now I somehow have to get to the pins. get the plastic off the ends. Okay, there we go. There's those two pins. And carefully let me see if I can get this out of the socket so I can move it to the other end. Let me put that new socket because reasons. All right, so now I guess I could try to zoom in. Don't forget the chisel tool. All right, so there's the plastic trim. All right, now the hot seat right there. All right, there we go. All right, I've exposed the two pins on each end. Okay, now that I've made another mess, I can't say that that was any less messy of a process. All right, let's see if I can get this module installed. All right, I need to get the awful hacko tip off somehow. Alright, there's that. Alright, I'm going to have to let that cool down. So we're going to have to take a break from this while that cools down so I can get the tip off. Jeremy was saying I've turned a V8 engine crankshaft with a crescent wrench. Ed Mac was saying just because you can doesn't mean you should things. Excessive maintenance for the win. Well, I can't get the thing off and it's hot and I don't want to burn myself. I think this is confirmation that this is not a genuine Hacko tip. Because it does not fit the handle correctly. Alright, now that I've got my preferred soldering tip back in, or not, now that I have my preferred soldering tip in, see if I can find some pins to solder with. Alright. I just cleaned the top of the chip off to maybe make the process a little easier. And clean the module as well, just get all the powdery stuff off of it. I'm going to align the module up with pin 1. Alright, so we are going to use this for pins. So I'm going to solder pins on. I found some random pins laying on my workbench. Oh, please, I did get all the solder out of it. Didn't get all the solder out of one of the vias, so let me see if I can't get that out so I can get this pins in. Second. There. Oh, hold on. All right. Get the other side on. Oh, first side is crooked. Well, now. Right. Now that I've got those soldered, can I break plastic shells off? Yes, I can, but I've only 3 of the pins actually soldered. All right. Please wait while I find another pin to. All right, let me at least solder the other 3 pins, and then I'll find something for the 4th. Where does time fly when I'm trying to solder 4 pins? 4 pins. That's it. Just 1, 2, 3, 4. First, I guess the time was to get the battery pack off of this module. All right. If this attempt fails, I'll my backup plan, because I think Glitch will has an assembly service. I'll have Glitch do the next one. I'll pay him to mod one of the ones I have. He doesn't have modules, so he can't like do them pre-made. Otherwise, I'd probably already ordered a pre-made one at this point, just because. But at least have one. But my backup plan is to see if he would be able to, if I sent him a module to do one. And not to say I'm going to give up, but just to say that that's my backup plan if I can't manage to get a module modified. Is I'll get one done for me, and then I will try to mod one as well. After all, I do have to acknowledge my time is worth something as well. Even if it gives us live stream entertainment, my time is worth something, and I don't want to have the exciting Peter Jackson extended live stream, the Lord of the NVRAM modules, extended cut with audience commentary. Oh, well, that. All right, hold please while I find my non-metallic tweezers. If I can hold this pen, I can try to actually get it onto the. All right. I don't know if it's actually making contact. I will probably have to continuity test it. All right. Well, it's not pretty, but once it's back in the Sun workstation, you probably won't notice. I'm still not sure. I have one of these pins soldered, despite the fact I've tried like 3 or 4 times. I don't know. No. There is definitely not a solder joint there. Oh, maybe there is. Oh, okay, maybe there is a solder joint there. It's not the prettiest, but All right. Well, let me guess. Do a little cleanup on this. All right. Get the pins out. There we go. There's that. But pin 1 is marked on the top, so I'm not really worried about my yellow mark as much. All right. All right. Contacts should be nice and clean now. As that contact cleaner flashes off, I'm tempted to put a dab of hot glue on each side to try to hold it in. Okay, so let's see here. So I think I'm going to say the hot knife method is not really one I would recommend. I still ended up having to use a saw. All right. I think the YouTube chat might be misbehaving again. Oh, that didn't really take care of that mess. No, looks like this time it's just the 11 o'clock lull. All right, I won't worry about that too much. All right, there's that. I'm going to set the isopropyl alcohol well far away and still probably knock it over in 5 minutes or less. Let me grab the Sun workstation. All right, we have one Sun workstation. We have one Sun brand keyboard and mouse. VGA cable and power cable. I'm gonna I'm gonna power it up first with the. Oh, first I need to remove this special video card. I think that's the Creator 3D card. All right. Let's make sure that it's powering up with the module I tried to test on Tuesday, just to make sure the capture setup and everything's working. All right. Yes. Okay. So everything is set as good as I could make it. Let me get that NVRAM module out of the sun. All right. I'm having trouble removing it. It is quite stubborn. All right. Let me remove the DOS card. I know you can't see what I'm doing. I can't see what I'm doing either. I'll at least remove the DOS card so that I can have a clearer view of what I'm doing and I won't potentially ram my hand into it while removing the module. All right, so the DOS card is out. It will go back in. All right. I don't think I can move things back far enough for you to see where the module is in the sun. Because it's like right here. Nope. I think unfortunately, the case is in the way. So this is the module that, oh, there we go. That module we tested on Tuesday to see that the ones I bought were dead. All right. This is the module we just repaired. Oh, sorry, headphone user alert. I need to blow the contact cleaner out of it to make sure it's dry. Hopefully, headphone users won't be dreaming about the noise of a air duster at 3 a.m. I apologize if that's the case. All right, so I'm going to snap this module in the carrier, because the carrier kind of helps to hold it in place. Oops. Something is misaligned. No, is it not? Oh, interesting. All right, so I guess I'm just going to have to pop the module directly into the socket because I can't get the carrier to snap in. I mean, strictly speaking, I don't think the carrier is needed. However, it will be harder to get out without the carrier. Padmax says, honestly, if I'm dreaming about air duster noise at 3 a.m., I'll call that a win compared to any number of ongoing stressful events that could have worked their way into my dreams. Well, all right. Well, I guess if I helped you dream about air dusters, well, I guess I'll call that a win too, because yeah, if anything, I could be dreaming about the power cord that I spent a large part of today looking for, and I mean, I did find it in a way. The embarrassing thing is, I sure thought I remembered receiving it. But I must have been remembering receiving something else because, well, turns out after looking all over for the power cord, yes, it was a special power cord. We'll put it at that. Turns out that it never got ordered because a clerical error was made. So, oops. Let's just say that it was probably one of the most common errors. It was the last item in my list, and when I so it went on to the next step, and unfortunately, it being the last item in the list, it accidentally got missed. Uh-oh. Jesse says, I'll take dreaming about air duster over the usual random snakes. Um, we only have caps lock. That's not good. Okay. Yeah, this is an unsuccessful. All right. Maybe that solder joint that I thought was soldered wasn't soldered, but then I looked and it looked like it was soldered. All right. Let me see if I can get the module out. I got to be careful because it's not a little carrier doodle. I mean, I guess I could double check that I didn't. No, I'm pretty sure I didn't plug it in backwards because. Okay, let me do a quick check. All right, I'm going to try to find my multimeter. Okay, I'm going to first. So the left should be positive. So I'm trying to put my probe on the metal tab or the metal pin going into the module. And okay, we do have 3.25 volts at the metal pin. So I got those two pins soldered. Now, I guess for the other question, fire up Silly Scope. All right, so while we wait for the oscilloscope to boot, I just want to see if we have a I want to see if I see the clock signal. I know it'll be really I don't it's going to be really faint. I'll put the ground clip on the negative terminal of the battery. Push the clear menu button. Whoops. All right. Well, that's interesting. The outputs for the crystal are one of them appears to be well, I may not have a very good. Oh, well, by golly, I think I might see the problem. All right. Normally, I would not advise soldering over top of a sun workstation. However, I am going to use the food saver bag as a protective barrier from getting solder blobs into the sun workstation because I don't really have a place to put the sun workstation for a short amount of time. I think the problem is that this one pin is still possibly not soldered. Oh, that's not good. Well, now that pin is definitely not soldered, and you can't see what I'm doing at all because I just thought I had it. Oh, well, you're not going to be able to see it anyways. I got to find another pin because I'm trying to solder the pin that might have not actually been soldered. I managed to lose it. Well, I guess I'll me get the battery out too. Just because. Okay, battery is out. All right. I wish I had a silicon mat that was big enough that I could just drape over this entire computer to do this, what I thought would be a really quick repair, but turning into a disaster. You can't even see what I'm doing because I can't zoom out far enough. I don't really want to move the Sun workstation off the workbench because we're so close to the end of the stream. Wanted to try to do this quickly. And I'm now seeing something that has me questioning how quick I can fix this. All right, fine. I will remove the Sun workstation. Okay, I am really. I'm really not sure that pin is even soldered. I have tried soldering it so many times, it's not even funny. Not soldering. Well, it's definitely not soldered now. All right, at least we went from I don't think it's soldered to I know it's not soldered. All right, fine. Thomas Armstrong says, "Wow, that got big on a 75-inch TV." Yeah, I feel like I'm failing again, and I didn't use the Dremel because the Dremel got me in trouble last time, and here we are. I think I've still messed it up. because I don't have enough. I think the pins they're not as long as they should be. They might have broken off in the process of getting the module apart. Where are my ceramic? Right. Seems like the last three live streams have all ended in failure. Last four. I know I got the battery soldered. I'm gonna have to pull the Dremel out, try to get a little more of the pins exposed on this other side because I don't have enough to. I'm having trouble getting solder to the pins because there's hardly anything sticking out of the chip. And I really, 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 really. Can you tell how really I did not want to Dremel tonight? Because that's how I ruined it the last time I tried to repair one of these. But I don't really have a choice. There's not enough pin to. I don't have enough pin to solder to otherwise, so I'm just going to have to risk it. I told myself no Dremels, and now I'm breaking my promise to myself because here's the Dremel. It says I always have the short pin problem. Most of the time, no legs on the IC. Well, really. All right. Hopefully, that's enough to solder to because I don't really want to go any further. I'm afraid I'll go too far and break the chip, and then I'll be in an even worse mood because I'll have ruined two instead of one. All right. Hopefully, I can solder it now. I would like to have a successful outcome to a live stream. Trying to find the component to steal legs from because I don't want to. I've got tantalum caps beside me, but those are too expensive to steal their legs. Huh. Here we go. This capacitor will just. This capacitor will be donating its leads to science. Okay, it's not willingly donating its leads to science. Apparently, has asked its friend Solderblob to try to block my move. All right, there we go. I got the capacitor in. All right, I think I'm going to have to help it by bending these pins back. copious amounts of flux. I'm going to try to hold this such that the capacitor legs stay in place, hopefully. Blob those together. Yep, I bet I did. All right. Well, that's still don't know that I have that soldered. All right. Well, maybe I did get it soldered. All right. Well, let me cut these pins carefully. Cut these pins. Stick out far enough to touch anything on the motherboard. Let me see if I can get the capacitor off the top. Tougher one. Now, rely on our friend metal fatigue. That looks awful, but I guess if it works, it works. All right. Let's see if I put the battery back in it. And we go back to the oscilloscope. All right. And we see the clock. But the thing is, this oscilloscope could just be too much load for the clock circuit. Oh, wait a minute, we're off the screen. That might be a good sign, actually. All right, so we're about 1 volt per division, 1.2 volts per division. Okay, I'm gonna call that a good sign that there's actually like a signal there, or maybe a signal there. But I bet the oscilloscope's just too much of a load for that. All right, well, all right, I guess we'll. I guess the only thing we can do is give it a try. It'll be the last thing I do this stream. if it works, well, if it works, I'll program the NVRAM so that we at least end the stream with the Sun workstation in a state to correctly boot Solaris. And if it doesn't work, then, well, I'll be emailing Glitch in the morning asking if his module repair service is still available, so I can at least get one module that might have a chance of working. Because I'm probably going to have to order another repair board, because I think the vias on this repair board are sort of compromised. I don't think that in that I'll put compromised in that if I try to rework it again, I'm afraid I'm going to pull a via out of the board, or I'm going to otherwise have added so much heat that the crystal stops working entirely. But because I totally will, if this fails, I'm going to see if I can get Glitch to mod one for me, so at least I have one working one, and I'll order a repair board and we'll try a repair board again. I'm not going to give up on the idea. I just want to make sure I have at least one working module, and I'm sure you all can. All right. Wait a minute. Oh, we got caps lock is flashing. Wait a minute. Oh, we got no signal. Yep, that's failed attempt number 2. Well, I guess I didn't break my losing streak on live streams. Alright, well, on that disappointing bombshell of a note, I guess it's probably time to draw the stream to an end. So, what have I learned today? Well, I don't know. I've learned that it's difficult to take these modules apart. And, well, I guess that's what I've learned. But, yeah, clearly the Sun Workstation is not happy with this module. And the only thing I can think of is just to make sure, I'm going to put. Well, I know this module was working. It was in one of the Sun workstations. It was working. Unfortunately, it appears to be a non-functional module now. I'm going to put one of the eBay modules in just to double check that the system will still post. And to once again confirm that I haven't screwed up pin 1. Alright. Caps lock is not on, which is the sign that I know that the module's messed up. And alright. hopefully the repair service is still available. So it looks like I'm going to have to. Okay, I'm gonna reach out to Glitch. I'll have him repair one of these modules. One of the ones I bought on eBay. So at least I can hopefully have. Actually, probably what I will do is I will send him both. I will have him repair one. But in the event that he messes up on one, if there really is something to disassembling these, then at least he'll have both. Because he can always, I mean, I'm already going to be shipping him one. I'll ship him both. I'll have him repair one. Christian's asking, can't hot gun and peel these modules? The instructions say to use a hacksaw and pry it off, because apparently the epoxy potting they did has voids in it. So you don't, plus I think the thing is, it's, there's a module in here, and what you're trying to do is break the epoxy between the chip and the module, because I think the battery and the crystal's in a what they call a snap hat, but it's been epoxied onto the module. So I think what you have to do is really break the epoxy between the two. Because I don't know why the instructions don't say to hot gun it off. It says to use a hacksaw. And I used a Dremel the first time around. That didn't work. This time around, I used the hot soldering iron. I was really careful. I didn't go too far. And I'm still unable to successfully modify it. So I'm wondering if I still somehow managed to apply too much pressure and broke a pin or something. I don't know. But anyways, I'll see if Glitch will if his modification service is still available. I'll have him do one. That way, at least I have one. I'll order a repair board. That way, if he was able to repair one and the other one survives, I can at least try to repair another one. And I won't, just in case I messed up this module repair board trying to repair this 2. That's why I'm going to order another repair board. They're $10. But I'll have him modify one. I'll order another repair board. So I'll at least try another time. But I would at least like to be able to use my Sun workstation and not go through all of my modules and not have one and potentially have to buy the $100 one on eBay that looks like someone did a hack job in modifying it. And it, quite honestly, looks like they did a really lazy job doing it. Because that was the only working module on eBay that I saw, and it was a really... It did not look like the quality was there for what I would expect for a $100 repaired module. So, anyways, I don't want to have to buy a repaired module on eBay if it's that expensive and looks like I could have done just as well with JB Weld and some electrical tape and a coin cell battery. Because it honestly looks like they just used a coin cell battery and not even a battery holder. But anyways, I digress. So anyways, all right. So another failed module repair attempt. So I was hoping I would end the week on a high note, and I'm not. All right. So Tuesday, I have requested a redelivery on the package that needs a signature. I did that because I probably won't be able to get to the post office tomorrow, and I have to be here. I've got a package coming Saturday that needs a signature anyway, so what's waiting for 2 carriers for 2 packages that need a signature? So I asked the post office to do a redelivery. We'll see if they actually do it. So hopefully Tuesday I will have the Pentium Pro motherboard that I bought on eBay. That should work. It at least the seller showed it working. And maybe we'll at least get some Pentium Pros up and running then. So even though I'd hope to end the week on a high note, well, maybe we'll begin next week on a high note. And then I don't know what I'll work on Thursday. I probably will not do a third Thursday in a row on trying to do a Sun workstation repair. I I'm not going to put you all through that. I'll think of something else. Anyways, don't forget to smash that like button if you like it that I try my best to repair these machines, and sometimes the repairs are just uh the first time you're trying to repair something and following the directions you're given. Well, I guess sometimes first and even the second time you try to do it, you mess it up. I guess maybe I'm learning how not to do it. So maybe in reality, I just need to get a vise and do the method that is in the instructions, which says to use a hacksaw and cut it about where the top of the chip is. So if when I do the third attempt, I will be using a hacksaw. I'm not going to use a hot soldering iron tip, and I am not going to use a Dremel. I'm going to use the hacksaw like the instructions say. I will get a vise or a pair of channel locks. I will invest in a tool that hopefully I will use more than once, which might mean I may go for the vise and not the channel locks, but we'll see what both cost because vices are more expensive. For the good vices, they're more expensive than channel locks, probably. But, anyways, next time around, I will have the right tool to hold it, so I am not trying to hold it with my fingers while I am simultaneously moving a cutting blade towards said fingers. So, but I am not going to work on that next Thursday. I need at least a Thursday off from Sun Workstations. I'll think of something else cool. In fact, I quite possibly have some other incoming eBay regret that if it's arrived by Thursday, we'll take a look at it. And this, of course, assumes that I don't move the Pentium Pro to next Thursday because I really want to look at one of the other items. But no, I will probably let the Pentium Pro have Tuesday because, well, the board traveled further. But anyways, Thursday, I probably will quite honestly take a look at one of the other things I bought on eBay. Just, in my effort of trying to wrap a few things up to have options to take to VCF East. Although there are some things I probably won't take to VCF East anyways, even if I do wrap them up, because there are a few things that I will probably not take just because I don't want to risk someone swiping keycaps off of certain computers. I mean, I don't. Most people I don't think would do it, but think I think at least when I was at VCF last, there was at least one person that I think someone might have swiped a keycap off their computer. So I do have a few things that I really don't want to have to try to replace keycaps on. So I'm not going. We'll just say that, for example, if I'm taking a VIC-20 to VCF East, it won't be taking a pet keys one. I'll take a standard one. I'm not trying to exhibit rarer things. I'd be more going for the sound and graphics it might be able to do, but that's the example. anyways, I'll think of something for Thursday. With that though, it is getting quite late. Oh yeah, we're past midnight. So anyways, don't forget to smash that like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you know when I go live next. You'll want to be here Tuesday for the Pentium Pros, because Pentium Pros make better vintage computers than gold salvage operations, apparently. At least according to what I learned from that YouTube video I watched. I think $50 for the processor each on eBay is a better option than getting it would be about 90 divided by 7. So what? $12 for the gold value? 12.50? 12.50? Seems like a no contest there. Anyways, so yeah, we will look at the Pentium Pros. Assuming I get the board. I mean, there's always the chance that the post office could screw it up and Okay, think positively, Justin. Think positively, Justin. Okay, we'll get the board. We'll do Penny and Prose Tuesday. And guess with that, yeah, I hope. I guess it might as well draw the stream to an end. Yeah, Thomas Armstrong says good plan and good stream. Yep. All right, we'll get the Sun Workstation working without having to reprogram the NVRAM every time I power it up. This is going to take a little longer than I had hoped. But anyways, hope you all have a great rest of your day. Thanks for joining me, hanging out in the chat, being cool, putting up with me, and catching me on the potential error I was about to make in trying to open that module up. Please, if you see me doing something silly in the future, don't hesitate to call me out in the chat. I will not be offended, and I would rather you call me out for potentially doing something unsafe than letting me continue and hurt myself. Sadmax says, in the meantime, you learn how to program the NVRAM. Yeah. I'll have it memorized before I get this module fixed at the rate I'm going. Anyways, I hope you all have a great rest of your day. Take care, and God bless. Computerized Start is brought to you by my awesome patrons on Patreon and by your tips and memberships on Ko-fi. These and other channel supporters make my live streams possible. You too can become a channel supporter with tiers starting at just $1. Don't forget to smash that like button. And if you've liked what you've seen, subscribe and turn on notifications so that you don't miss the next video or live stream. And as always, thank you for all your support. I hope to see you next time. And until then, take care.